Okay, so I'm having a bad reaction to Emily Reyneke bullying me in court the last couple of times I've gone to her court hearings. For one thing, I'm not her stalker. For another thing, she's not giving me credit for paying her bills when the school district's vendetta on her was going to bankrupt her. She's not giving me credit for trying to help her analyze court documents and whatever. She probably thinks I'm stupid because a lot of my ideas she disagrees with and whatever. But I'm not in any way stalking her to go to a public proceeding. I think the case against her is extremely bizarre, and I agree with her on a lot of things, that it is a malicious prosecution, that it is based in conflict of interest. I view it as petty and vindictive. But the fact that now she's lashing out at me because I, in good faith, tried to make what I thought were fair use, public interest, sharing of public documents. She's making this huge deal that my autistic brain didn't understand how anti-internet hillbilly Oregon is, okay? I've lived in California and Sweden and the UK, places where things are a little bit more communicative. So my brain doesn't immediately jump to caveman conclusions that we can't digitize anything, okay? Like, I've followed a lot of court things in other jurisdictions, and I've taken a laptop into a courtroom and not been harassed for it. I've taken notes. I've live tweeted from a courthouse. Like, it's not actually that big of a deal. So that was very common right when Twitter was just like getting jacked, when the Pirate Bay was up getting harassed by the Swedish government on behalf of Hollywood. So anyway, shout out to Emily. Stop launching out on offensives against me. I'm not against you. I think that because the district attorney is being really stubborn and hard-headed and digging in against you, you're lashing out at potential allies. Your case is obviously far more complicated than I can understand. After today's hearing and her, I think it's like 34 witnesses she wants to call where she was justifying them, her salacious statements to the court about me. I never was texting in the courtroom. I never was recording a proceeding. The document I made for dyslexia, blind, and disability access is partially because I don't want to pay the $3 fee for the document that should be free and fair and open to the public. We should have better law libraries that are more accessible, not less accessible. So misconstruing my motive as somehow malicious or stalkery is definitely not the case. And disability rights has always been one of my main things. So it's a little hard to understand her paranoia against me. But then again, I think it is kind of providing a hilarious sideshow for the prosecution. But if anything, I think they're getting kind of both protective of me and they're feeling bullied and pushed around by her. And I don't think they know what to think in terms of my motives. And it's actually kind of like not fair to have someone mouthing off a bunch of false accusations against you in a courtroom and then not having any right of defense. So her proceedings, I think, are very interesting, and her lack of counsel is very interesting. There are many things about her case that are very unique, especially considering the types of litigation the school district is in, for the Carol Epling matter, for instance. And so her trying to use the courts to silence my speech actually seems anathema to the whole principle of whistleblower protection that she's arguing for. And I don't think we have to see eye to eye in terms of what is journalism or whatnot, but it feels rather peculiar. I thought she would be weirded out that I was calling her, but it's not the first time I've cold called someone. I've cold called the mother of a murder victim who I was trying to put in touch with people that were trying to get the murderer put away. That's kind of, I'm just not shy. Like, I've contacted heads of state online, or parliamentarians, or Congress. It's really not a big deal. I believe in the democratization of information and power. So trying to silence me and shut me down, I wish I wasn't interested in her case and I could just stay away and she could find someone else to bully. But unfortunately, I'm interested in her case. So it would be easier if the DA would just drop the whole absurd thing. But that's my opinion. And I don't know how I can push it into that field.